Oh, that's not good.
I think I calculated I need 14,000 nails to nail this new roof down. It means I have 14,000 nails to pull up. Yesterday we were trying to bag up all of these shingles, which in theory is a great idea because you end up a lot easier to carry around, but each bag is really heavy and that takes forever to fill the bag. So we just decided we're gonna put some old carpet down to my trailer. I got a little ahead of myself tearing off the roof here when I realized I really should be doing the cap first, so I can put the dirty mortar and everything on the old shingles, protect the roof, and then take all that off with the roof. So I'm gonna stop tearing off for right now, and we're gonna do the masonry work, do the block work to bring this up. We had a storm last night, and it flooded our entire warehouse. It also blew all of the foam sheets that we have for the roof all over our yard. So instead of having nice clean piles to be able to lift up with our forklift, I have them like strewn everywhere. There's damage. So I'm super excited about that. Everything in our warehouse got wet. All my tools, our packaging, cardboard, everything soaked. It looks, yeah, when I advance working in Arizona when it's warm, your tar will melt and stick to your glove in your hand, and awesomeness. I think this is the real end of the worst part of the damage. So if we go to like here, we should be good. Realistically, the damage is only from here to about here, but there's a nice seam line back here that I'm going to use to put the sheet in. If I can get it underneath the wall, I'm going to be able to use a full 4-foot width. Let me see. You should not be able to put a measuring tape inside your walls. Just FYI, that's not normal or good. This hole right here is the reason why we had to take this off. Really not much reason to pry over here very far because it's not really wood. Nah. Okay. So again, this piece is completely rotten. You should not be able to pull it outside of your wall like that. Okay, so I'm gonna set my blade depth to about 3/4 of an inch. That's good. And that is so I don't run my good saw blade through all of these nails. So we're just gonna temporarily put this across so that I have something to sit on, so it's a little bit safer. There's some evidence that this was partially deteriorated. Okay, so now we've got this section cut out of the plywood, of the old stuff. I have my notch cut in there, the nails cut. So now we will see if this will go in. I think it's just that corner, it still has a little bit in it. And so the easiest way to fix this actually is to round that corner so it'll go in a little bit easier. The other board isn't straight. That's what I'm going with. So, like right here, I have over 1/2 inch gap, but down here, it's touching. And I know that this is straight because that's the factory edge, so I couldn't have messed that one up yet. It's good that I pre-marked all my studs. I didn't actually do that. Fuck. This one here will just have to get pulled in by everything else. So let's do this guy. One thing about this whole roof project is we're adding 5 inches of this foam on top. And because we're insulating the space now, we no longer need these vents. These vents are there to allow the heat out of the warehouse. Once we're insulating it, we don't want these air drafts in the space anymore, so we're gonna be sealing these up. This foam is the reason why we had to add the blocking on the outside of the walls and bring everything up. So because we're doing this, it adds so many layers of complication to our project. We've got all of the shingles off the roof. We have a little bit of this cap sheet left. This area here where it slopes back up, we need to cut out because I need to revise the way the crickets kick the water off this roof. I said cricket, basically it's a little sloped part of your roof that comes, and then there's a gutter that goes out the side of your building. And so they just kind of direct the water where you want it to go instead of going, directly to the outside wall. I want to cut a square out here and see what we're dealing with. Actually, this isn't even adhered. This cap sheet should have been adhered to the substrate, but it looks like it's not. In an effort to preserve my blade. All right, so actually, it's interesting. This is still just boards, and I thought this would be built up with plywood or something. But apparently this has been on there a long time. So we're just going to cut this out. Yeah, I really thought this would be adhered to the substrate. This cap sheet should be attached. Shouldn't just be free floating like this. But whatever. One of the other reasons why this stupid thing leaked. I got this area down here cut, and we can pull it back and see what we're dealing with. And these are just the 1x6 type fir. That's cool. Like everything remodeling, I had planned to cut this all out with a saw. Turns out I can just cut out the pieces individually and then just take them out. So I don't need to cut it all up. So now I have to get these boards up. I'm going to start at the top. Actually take this little 45-degree piece out. These are used to help kick the water away from the outside walls, which are good to use, good to see. For better or worse, these nails come out a little easy. Well, too easy. It's like there's nothing under there. Interesting. So I know there's still a couple nails left in here. Just, they didn't want to come out. Get these 3. I think there's another 1 or 2 in here. There we go. Okay. So now we can see inside here in all its awesomeness and bug-filled glory. But yeah, this is a nice piece. Probably fur or something. Now I can see kind of more about what I'm up against here. If there's any other issues I need to be aware of, but I'm going to need to take the rest of these boards out. There's a little bit of block work I need to fix over here. I see a crack. And then, yeah, just do the rest of them, and I'll pull these boards out, get down to the original roof, and then build everything back up from there. So that's the plan, at least for now. I'm about to tear my hair out here. We lost the original videos, so we had showed the whole unveiling as we pulled all this stuff off, but it got destroyed. So this is the old imagery from the asphalt roofing paper that that they used on this building. This was just found under there. It would have been just the roll covering to keep the tar from rolling around in your truck too much. And this stuff is a very, very thick paper, much thicker than used today. I mean, today it's pretty much just paper. About the thickness of this artwork.
Pretty amazing that it lasted with all these hot summers over what, 100 years?
Yeah, this is,
That's pretty cool.
yeah, Melanie found that this artwork's from like maybe the early 1900s, 1916 she found. So this is definitely original. So this has been here for literally 100 years this year, that this has just been hidden away. So our first really cool find.
Woohoo!
If you like these videos, please subscribe. It really helps the channel, which would really allow us to continue doing this. Anyway, enough on that.
See you next week.